taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
Well, Merry effing Christmas to everyone. How are you? It is actually the Friday before Christmas, but I will not see you afterwards. But glory be. There's all these people here. Toasty's here. Skip is or isn't here. She said she was here before she fell asleep. She may have already fell asleep, but I did wish her to tell Mark Merry Christmas. I see James is here, and I already said Toasty. Toasty's here, and Vaping Links, whatever that guy is, he's here, and Addie's here, and Jason's here, and there's other people here. There's people here. I have already put the link to the Rumble show in the YouTube chat because it does have a different name. Because we're going to talk about other things over there that will affect the name of the show for tonight. So that show will have a different name than tonight's show. That's okay because it's awesome. And the I Told You So's are going to be so great next week. But anyway, I see Steve is here as well, and Kevin is in the back room. He was having some Bluetooth connectivity problems because he's a boomer. And hey, Bastard says Merry Christmas, you lot. You lot, Kevin.
That's right. Up on the housetop.
Why are you mouth breathing? And Homicidal showed up too. I said, why are you so your mouth breathing? You're like,
because I'm too close to the mic, I guess. I don't know. It's all that smoking.
Could be. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm just I'm looking at the wonderful list of things that we're going to talk to tonight.
The list. You had a friggin', my God, we're not going to be here till 5 in the friggin' morning.
Well,
fucking list
we're gonna burn through the first half of the show because the best. I mean, the best stuff is going to be for the Rumble show.
Because I don't like you.
Yeah.
I saw that every time that fucking email went off this week, I'm like, you can't fit all that in one show.
Oh, I can.
Well,
I can do it. I'm awesome.
I question your ability and integrity both. So there you go.
Do you want to say hello to anybody before I go into the normal, hey, how the hell are you doing? What have you done this week sort of thing? Or what?
Hello, all you wonderful and beautiful humans, except Patrick.
That's well, of course.
For me.
I'm subhuman. Yeah.
Well, sort of.
But I'm not the mouth breather.
But like. All right.
We're gonna talk about some AI stuff later on for sure. I'm probably there might be something in there about AI. Could be, maybe, possibly. I did notice though, Kevin. There is a movie trailer that is going about on the YouTubes. It's one of those paid commercial things that if you click on a video, you might get a video commercial for a movie sort of thing. And I think it's just called Civil War. I think that's what it's called. Alex Garland, who is a movie auteur, he's a director. He's done some decent movies. He did Dredd, which is a remake of the Stallone Judge Dredd movie. He did a movie called Ex Machina, which is about a android girl escaping the lab and becoming a real girl like Pinocchio, but evil. And this new one is called Civil War. And, you and I and the people in the chat, we talk about how America seems divided more than ever before sort of thing. And then this movie comes out, or this movie's coming out, and you look at it and you're like, you're listening to it and you're like, oh, I can see people getting really freaked out because, it's about an insurrection. There's an insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not true though. My wife was watching the video and she's like, "Oh, this is creepy and scary." And I'm like, it's complete fiction, wife. This would never happen like this. And she said, "Well, how do you know?" I said, "Because if you listen during the preview or during the commercial, there's a newscast. There's like a fake newscast going on in the background over here." And the girl on screen, the newscaster, is talking about the Texas-California Union.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not going to happen.
The whole scenario is already flawed from the beginning because there's no way Texas and California would ever side together.
Could you really be neighbors with Ed? Really?
Well, I wouldn't mind Ed. I mean, he's always got a good wine,
Well, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh well, that just completely took me out of the suspension of disbelief and the fictional world that they're trying to present. Because when they said the Texas California Union, I'm like, oh, okay, man, that just pulled me out of your fake reality, and that's not gonna happen. I was like,
can't.
No, but it did appear to have a decent cast. It's got what is that young lady's name? Not Alicia Silverstone, but the one that Kirsten Dunst, is that it? Is it the girl that was Spider-Man's girlfriend in the first Spider-Man movie? Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It was that girl, but she's older now. I mean, obviously, she's in it, and there's other like recognizable people. But I've noticed that they're trying to brainwash people with movies and stuff. Like they're trying to prepare them mentally for stuff because that movie came out.
I'm sorry, Zippy. It's called grooming.
Well, I mean, that movie's coming out like preparing people for some sort of rebellion or whatever. And then this week on Netflix, I can't remember the name of the movie. Give me 1 second here. What's his name? Barack Obama and his wife have produced a movie, and it's called it's on Netflix. It's Leave the World Leave the World Behind. So this movie has been they've been I mean, obviously it takes a couple years to make a movie and stuff, but that movie also is preparing people for like the end because there's some sort of computer thing happens. Yes.
I've heard, Janice and I watched it the other night.
Yeah. Obama and his wife, they've produced this movie, and I haven't watched it yet. But I have heard that there's some situations in this movie that, again, like are very labely, very targety, very, you know. And then obviously there's a scene in the movie that the clip is already out on YouTube where they're driving down the road and they come to this bridge or whatever, and there's all these cars crashed into the bridge.
Yeah.
And they get closer and closer, and they realize all of these cars are Teslas and there's nobody driving them.
Yeah.
These are all the Tesla self-driving cars. And apparently, I guess the whole MacGuffin of the movie is the computer, something that somebody's either hacked computers or
something's awry.
But it is kind of funny that suddenly this movie's coming out, and obviously in certain groups now, Elon Musk is not the most popular of people,
right?
Well, and they're using his car to whatever. So I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna probably watch it this weekend because the wife has to work, and I'll be able to sit down and maybe break it into little chunks if it begins to get too annoying.
I will predict that you'll be both annoyed and intrigued at the same time. That's my prediction. And you can let me know or not. I don't care. But it was I'll give it a 4 after.
Well, I mean, I've seen some reviews from some conservative people. Oh, Andrew's here. Some conservative people who have given it as high as a 6 out of 10. So,
okay, well then I'm probably pretty on. Okay. All right.
But yeah, I mean, I have to watch it now because they're apparently there's a lot of that. And there's some social commentary apparently going on that somehow Julia Roberts is a racist person in this movie. They're trying to portray her as
It's a very you can assume, really. You can only assume in that.
See, I'm only willing to go so far in my suspension of disbelief because obviously Julia Roberts is America's sweetheart. I mean, that's the, I mean,
right.
you know, if they were going to do that and have a passive aggressive, like Karen type person
on an actress level, I don't think this was out of her realm. That subject itself was kind of an assumption. You could feel it, but you really weren't sure, I guess, at first. So anyway, you watch the show. Tell me what you think. I gave it a 4. I wouldn't give it a thumbs up necessarily, unless I know you're smart enough to see through what's there. But anyway.
All right. So you sent me.
I did send you something.
Study at you were the very first link of the week. First link of the week.
Oh, look how proud of me I am.
And I'm gonna present this on the screen for our fellow friends, so that they can see this. Now,
are you gonna make me qualify my?
You're gonna have to talk to me about this. So this is a study by Rose Weldon, and it says e-cigarette use increases among pregnant. And there's an ad, and I don't I don't want to click on it.
Lucera.
And it didn't
it didn't move, did it? So the rate of e-cigarette use among teens in late pregnancy increased from something to something in 2021. The rate of exclusive cigarette use in pregnancy fell by 2/3. This one actually isn't very long, is it?
No.
The rate of e-cigarette use increased more than 5-fold among adolescents in late pregnancy from 2016 to 2021 is the date, according to the JAMA Network Open. Now, whereas traditional tobacco cigarettes are largely recognized, see why I don't drink, as a risk to developing fetuses and their mothers, recognized, make sure you remember that word, e-cigarettes are non-combustible and do not generate some of the toxic chemicals present in tobacco smoke, including carbon monoxide, which is true. It's not recognized. That's a truth. See the difference? For this reason, some pregnant women who smoke cigarettes before pregnancy, use e-cigarettes as smoking cessation aid to reduce nicotine intake and or to reduce harm to the fetus. However, the average nicotine delivery from e-cigarettes is comparable to that of cigarettes. Now, here's my best part of the whole thing. It just kind of hit me in the nose. I just, like when you're a bad dog and you pop them on the nose with a newspaper thing.
I would never hit a dog.
Studied.
That's not right, sir. That's serial killer behavior right there.
Have you ever seen it in a cartoon? The researchers studied data from the Pregnancy Risk Assessment Monitoring System. I didn't know existed.
The PRAM.
On e-cigarette or cigarette use among 10,428 adolescents aged 10. I'm going to repeat that for those of you who are partaking. 10 to 19 years old with a singleton birth of a small for gestational age infant, SGA.
Now, I have to interrupt you, Kevin.
Oh, please go ahead.
Neither one of us are obstetricians or OBGYNs or baby doctor nutritionists or anything like that.
I don't even play one on TV.
Would you not assume that if they're including babies that are born to 10-year-old babies, that there's going to be a small for gestational age infant come out of that?
Yes.
I mean, I again,
I'm not either. No.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Definitely not an OBGYN. And I am not professing to be an expert.
Never even looked at it. I don't even know what
birth weights of babies based on the age of mothers. However, I would assume, biologically knowing what I know about the human body, the size of the mother does, in one way, shape, or form, affect the size of the child that would be out of that womb. If mommy's womb is only so big, baby can only grow so big.
Yeah.
And if mommy's body is only so big, her womb is only going to be so
Or
big.
it may break things, I would assume.
I would assume that there could be some problems depending on what the daddy's DNA says.
Bladder and
I
all that
I am
other
most
crap.
I am most definitely assuredly very concerned that they had enough babies born to mothers in that 10. I'll be concerned. I'll be liberally
Let's say 10 to
conservative
14 at least.
and say the 10 to 16-year-old kids. That's a big chunk of the numbers here, I would assume. There's no chart, but this is very concerning to me, regardless of the fact that there's vaping going on.
Okay, thank God, because that's the reason I linked it.
I'm horrified, actually. I mean, we spend a lot of time.
Problems?
We spend a lot of time on this show talking about parents being parents and doing their fucking jobs.
Aren't there bigger problems about 10 to 14,
there are
15-year-olds being pregnant?
If there are enough 10-year-old to 16-year-old babies having babies,
well,
I need to line up a whole bunch of daddies.
Well, clearly,
and take
Patrick,
them out behind the barn, because this
clearly,
is
Patrick,
fucked up.
Underage sex causes smoking, obviously. You know that's how this works.
Holy
right?
shit, Kevin.
Because, well, you never know. It's that little correlation virus thing I get right there. It's right there. All I know is the weights are discussed and the percentages are discussed.
See, I'm not even interested in the demographics here now. There's a whole thing about demographics here about who.
It don't matter.
The white kids are more likely to vape than smoke. Like at this point, I don't even give a shit about the e-cigarette part of this anymore.
Doesn't it take it away? It just right out the fucking window, didn't it?
The importance
right out the window.
I gotta see this. Let me open.
Okay, you do you because I didn't go that far.
I got to get the DOI here. Come on.
All right,
damn it.
That's fine. I'm willing to. I was quite taken back, and I'm not normally one to go. What was that? Are you watching your kids fucking around?
Let's see if this is open, because if this is open, we're gonna fucking look at some tables here.
I didn't mean.
Oh, it is in the JAMA open, so it would be open. So let's look at this.
I didn't go that far.
I'm gonna go over here to the figures and the tables. I just want to see it over here in the figures and the tables. All right. Let's see. Late pregnancy, blah blah blah, birth year. This is by year. Is there a list on the ages? I want to see the fucking ages here. Okay, Kevin.
Nope.
From the ages of 10 to 17.
Yeah. That's where
total
we should
sample
be
2,778 babies to the 10 to 17. Now, that still doesn't fine tune it down to that 10 to 16 number.
Maybe it will.
That's nearly 3,000. That's nearly 3,000 babies in the 10 to 16-year-old, 10 to 17-year-old range that are having babies that were. That's not all of them. That's just the ones that were included in this study, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. You need to binge watch your kids.
I'm horrified. I'm horrified, Kevin.
Nope, that don't either.
No, it's not going to do that, because it knows that I'm going to raise hell if I see like how many 10-year-old babies are included in this thing.
All I know is I highlighted this to your girlfriends over at PAVE, and they didn't respond. I couldn't believe it. I'm just shocked.
Don't call them my girlfriends. Those bitches don't answer to me anymore.
Oh, now never mind. They're in a corral, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I just figured you'd be concerned that they'd be concerned, and I don't think they are.
All right. Well,
evidently you can't stop children from having sex.
Kevin, I cannot believe that you have stooped this low just to get me like my dander up.
No, you're welcome. I don't mind your dander. I don't like you either. I don't give a shit.
Speak here. I'll get your dander up here.
Are you gonna? You're fighting fire with fire.
This is what people think. This is what people think of us, Kevin.
All right. Is it Beavis and Butthead?
No.
This sucks.
I got it.
I need TV for my mom.
This is why we can't have nice things, Kevin. I'm just going to tell you right now. So this is from the dailymail.com. So we know that this is let me close this. Jetstar passenger allegedly commits disgusting act mid-flight. It says an unruly traveler kicked off his flight to Melbourne, so he's a damn Aussie. Allegedly, he exposed himself and he urinated on the seat. Now, down here, it says a disorderly passenger was booted off a Jetstar flight after allegedly vaping and urinating on vacant seats. So I'm assuming that down here that vaping was much more important in the story than the fact that he pissed all over the seat.
I didn't even know you were in Melbourne. When the fuck did you go to Australia?
No. If I'm gonna piss, it's not gonna be on my seat, Kevin. I mean, come on.
What is wrong with these people?
The passenger, and he's 52, so he's a year older than me, so it can't be me. Yeah. Allegedly carried out the disgusting behavior on a Melbourne-born flight from the Gold Coast on Monday night. Australian federal police were forced to intervene and escorted the passenger off the plane. He was then hit with a string of charges and ordered to face court next year.
Good for you, Michael.
So it's these kinds of stories. It's these kinds of stories about vaping, Kevin, that make people hate vapors. I'm just saying,
Oh my God. All right, I'm going to minimize you back down to getting on my nerves. There,
I'm just saying,
See, this way I don't have to look at you.
Oh. So I got another story here, Kevin. If this damn thing will quit doing this to me. It's it's one of those things. I opened a story, and get ready to present it, and then it throws one of those subscriber doohickeys up.
Maybe Michael was in Melbourne, by the way, just so you know.
It could be.
It wasn't James. I'm sure it wasn't Bruni.
Yeah, I mean, no, I have to find another.
Hey, this guy pissed on a seat. Well, he's a vapor. Oh, well, that explained it.
Well, that damn vapor.
I thought his piss
had to do something about that.
Muffins. Oh my God.
All right, here we go.
Just like the 10-year-old, the 17-year-old, you got a lot bigger problems if somebody's pissing on a seat than the vaping.
Well,
that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying. Just saying, Kevin. All right.
When I say hydrate, I also expect you to remove that from yourselves too, and not on the airplane seat anymore. Stop doing that.
Well, I'm just, I'm really hoping that people understand that not all of us fly on airplanes to urinate on our own seats. I mean,
this is like the Jerry Springer show of vaping at the moment. That's all I'm saying.
So we do here. We've got a letter to the, or we got an op-ed about the WHO. We'll do this one.
All right.
Because apparently the one that I wanted to do is not gonna open for me, and I'm not gonna sit here and waste time. So here we go. This is from the Daily Caller, which is another rag site, but so it says here, CULLIP, the WHO bungled COVID. Now it's making an equally disastrous blunder.
That's right.
I've already screwed up because I said the C word. So we're probably our show's probably gonna get removed from YouTube, but I'm just reading an article. So Martin CULLIP is a contributor.
Yes.
Oh, you see,
he's a fine man.
See this shit?
I see it. How did you block your porn bots? What's that about?
I don't know.
Eddie?
Let's see. Yep, it's not going to let me read this shit either. You know, this is Christmas
annoying.
all over again.
I don't have a PDF
Yeah,
of that.
I'm not even wasting time. Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's give our audience some generalized advice. First of all, we're not managing you people. We're just consultants. Don't piss on airplane seats. And if you do it in good health, but don't tell them you
Don't
vape.
piss on yours.
Yeah, just
And don't pee on your seat. Pee on somebody else's seat. I'm just saying, you know.
Helpful hints from your Uncle Kevin Patrick.
Yeah. So here, this is another one. Because I'm not the ones that require subscriptions. I opened on my phone and I could read them, but I can't read them here, and I'm not gonna fuck around tonight. So it says here, school counselors report prevalence of vaping, gaming issues among adolescents. So addictive behaviors often develop during adolescence and can lead to issues with mental and physical health. Despite these consequences, most high school counselors who are positioned to address these issues report a lack of formalized training in two addictive behaviors, vaping and internet gaming. According to a new study by the University of Georgia published in the International Journal of the Advancement of Counseling. So Kevin, I went to school
indignantly asking
ago,
what?
and you went to school a long time ago. And
It's
there may or may not have been a guidance counselor.
There was, yes.
There. Now, as an adult, I don't remember very many interactions with the guidance counselor when I was in school.
2, 3, 4 of them.
And I don't really know what they do and what credentials they are required to have.
No, I don't either.
I mean, are they psychologists? I know they're not psychiatrists.
That I don't know at all.
Do they have like a 2-year degree, or is it a 4-year degree, or are they just school people that went to school for education and then decided to be a guidance counselor? I mean, I don't know what the requirements are. I'm generally not being a smartass, but I really don't know what they do because they didn't do shit when I was in school.
I assumed it was always somebody you could talk to about your school problems or personal problems.
I never got caught doing anything bad.
Yeah.
So I never got sent to the guidance counselor.
Oh, I got caught. But I was always at the principal's, not the guidance counselor.
I just took my licks and kept on going. I mean, you know, you know, when I was a kid, you know, smart off to a teacher, you just got sent to the principal with a paddle, you know, that would
paddles, they had
or those. The teacher just paddled you, you know, and that was it.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
It's like the school nurse. We didn't even have one of those when I was in school. So I broke my arm at school, and literally they just called my mom and sent me to the emergency room. So yeah, we didn't, you know. Yeah. But anyway, it says here, school counselors are aware this is an issue, but it doesn't seem like we're providing the training as a profession so that we can address it, said Amanda Giardino, principal investigator of the study and associate professor at the UGA Mary Frances Early College of Education. They're seeking their own continuing education and self-study to learn how to meet these needs. Students who vape are exposed to a combination of substances, including nicotine and cannabis, and are at risk of developing lung injury, headaches, and nausea, Kevin.
Reading this is giving me nausea.
Yeah, I know. You're not even reading it. I'm reading it to you.
Thank you.
I should be getting a bonus.
Now you have one.
The prevalence of vaping has increased among non-smoking adolescents in the past several years, with 41% of adolescents having vaped nicotine at some point in their lives, and 26.2% have vaped marijuana at some point in their lives.
Conjecture.
Well, I mean, this
we could say 77%.
How are they defining this?
May, could, might.
This non-smoking adolescence thing. So
full of shit.
I don't know how you're even coming up with that number, because if it's from self-reporting, and a kid is gonna admit that he got caught vaping, but he's gonna say, "Oh no, I never smoked a cigarette. No, and I never touched myself. I never,
no,
I never
try to get my girlfriend pregnant. No,
never. No, no, I'm a good boy. I just made one mistake.
That's right.
So
that's right.
It says here, these are really distressing numbers because as a society, we've worked hard to curb adolescent smoking of combustible tobacco products, said Giordano. Now with vaping, we see these numbers going back up. And when vaping, adolescents can be exposed to higher concentrations of THC than they would through traditionally smoked cannabis. I don't believe that for a minute, because I know that these fucking new strains of pot that are out there are like 1,000 times stronger than the pot that we had when I was a kid. These are genetically engineered pot plants. So come on. Given that we are seeing what we are seeing in the research, adolescent exposure to high potency cannabis products is very concerning. Internet gaming disorder. They actually have a name for this now, Kevin. Internet gaming disorder. It's actually a mental disorder now, which was officially recognized by the World Health Organization in 2019, is a behavioral addiction people engage in to regulate their emotions. In addition to high involvement with the behavior, gaming disorder is marked by a loss of control, compulsivity, continued engagement despite negative consequences, and craving the behavior when they are not engaging. Now, Kevin, I've seen some mean-ass videos on the internet.
Yes.
Of like moms or dads freaking out at their kids who have spent too much time gaming, and mom or dad will come into the room and unplug the device, the game device or whatever, and then
throwing shit in the pool,
throw it out in the yard and run over it with a lawnmower. And like kids like freak the fuck out and like completely and totally freak out. Well, I could, when I was a kid, if my dad had walked in and grabbed my Walkman, back in the day when we had Walkmans with tapes, before CDs, even the cassettes, and he had thrown it on the floor and stomped on it, I probably would have freaked the fuck out too, to tell you the truth. Now, not like that. These kids here are like, they're screaming like dad shot him or something like that. But and I don't actually have this gaming addiction thing. I don't play video games other than maybe Tetris. My wife, however, does have a Candy Crush addiction.
Good.
But other than, that's about the. That my wife said to me one time, I want my brother, her brother, wanted a PlayStation something, a PlayStation 4, whatever, I don't know. And I said, is that like $350, $400? And she's like, yeah. I said, well, then he better start working and saving some money.
Exactly.
Yeah, he better start working and saving some money, because we ain't buying that shit as a gift. I'll tell you that for now. Gaming disorder affects a substantial number of adolescents worldwide, and it is linked to a range of consequences, including depression, anxiety, impaired cognitive control, family conflict, poor diet, and more. Well, the and more is the fact that they're too lazy to get up and shower, so they start to stink. I have heard that. The poor hygiene is one of the, After analyzing data from 221 high school counselors in New York, Georgia, and Washington, Giordano found that 81% of participants reported working with at least one student with a gaming issue in the previous year. So that's a lot of schools. New York City alone has a lot of schools.
I would think they'd have 100, yeah.
And you would say that 81% of the school counselors in the entirety of New York, Georgia, and Washington had one kid that had a gaming fetish. So, I don't know how very horrible this is for obviously I'm already worried about the future generation when there are 10-year-olds having enough 10-year-olds having children that they have to be included in a vaping study. That is concerning to me. But video games is not really one of those things I really give a shit about, Kevin. I mean,
nope.
That's and nope. I'm not even going to go on because I see the word cyberbullying and all this, and
there we go.
We had bullies and assholes and stuff when I was in school.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to diminish or minimize the severity of bullying. Bullying is bad. I personally didn't experience it more than once because I was usually the biggest kid in the school. And, I would beat the shit out of anybody that fucked with me. Or at least I would ruin their day. So, I personally may not be the right person to speak on that. But it just seems odd to me.
I didn't know it was a disorder.
That all of the things that we have going on that are causing kids to delete themselves or whatever, that
right
seems like video games and vaping would be the least of our concern.
I would think it would be the bottom of the barrel concern.
I mean, there are other much bigger fish to fry than that, but yeah.
Well, the way I saw it with my kids, Jeremy not so much. Dustin loved his games, and you sometimes can lose a sense of reality, I think, as children.
When we had games, Kevin, we had Pac-Man.
Right.
That and was not near these games were not nearly as immersive.
Right.
Yeah.
And these are really good games, but
I've seen games. I told you I had a 94-year-old man playing Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
So, I get it.
Pinball.
But yeah,
that's been banned, pinball. I didn't see a point of taking it away from him. I did see a point, like, I think, don't quote me, and I don't really give a shit about your feedback. I think it was GTA had hookers and blow and all that. And I'm like, you ain't playing that. You're 8 years old or whatever age he was at the time. And he's about 14. He's playing. He's like, this ain't that bad, Dad. Why'd you make me, whatever. And now he's, 28 and he's like, oh, I see why you didn't want me to watch some of that.
So, he's a daddy now, right? Or is it the
other
one?
No, that's the other one. That's the other one. Yeah, marbles. Exactly. Hot Wheels. Yeah. We didn't even have TV, according to Patrick.
And we had Legos, but we didn't have these fancy Legos they have today that make the Star Destroyer from Star Wars. We just
I don't even remember anybody having.
Look, Fixter showed up. We just had like a big bucket full of like various assorted Lego, and you made whatever it is that you wanted to make.
I never had Legos. Not poor me, I didn't have Legos. Nobody I remember had Legos.
And I had like 10,000 Hot Wheels. Like my mom stepped on so many Hot Wheels and Legos. It was so funny. It was so funny.
We'd all be running around in darkened rooms.
We had a sleepover one night, and like we had a Lego war where we were throwing Legos at each other. And then the next morning, my mom came down and stepped on every one of them on their way to make breakfast, and she was like, "You little brat, you pick up these effing Legos. If I step on another Lego, I'm throwing them all away."
Good.
I'm like, no, you're not. You bought them, and you're cheap, so you would never throw something away you spent money on.
I don't get the connection between video games and vaping, but all right, I trust you. Oh, by the way, I want to make sure that the record shows it's 40 minutes since we started the show. I haven't touched my vape yet, and I'm going to go get it. So
okay, hurry up.
Hurry up.
So while Kevin's away, let me say he's a putz. No, so in a world where obvious things have to be stated repeatedly and over again, we've done stories where they've targeted Elf Bar and Candy Bar, all the different bars, and now they're upset that the Chinese have figured out a way to circumvent their rules. Like, really? You have never been part of, like, have you ever done business with Chinese companies? They know how to weed through the regulatory process here.
Putts.
So it says here, they know how to game the system. The maker of the world's most popular vape mislabeled them as toys or batteries to avoid customs and importation taxes. So, yeah, I mean, I think we've all ordered shit from China that said something on the customs label,
Yes.
right?
Electronics, mostly.
And normally it says like parts or components or whatever. It never actually says what it is because that's just the way. If you ever order anything from Fast Tech, it never said vaping stuff on there.
No.
You know? So
Never.
in only 2 years, a small, colorful vaping device called Elf Bar has become the most popular disposable e-cigarette in the world, generating billions in sales and quickly emerging as the overwhelming favorite to underage U.S. teens who vape. Now, I'm going to say something here, Kevin, that I never thought I would say.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a young lady who's a singer. Her name is Taylor something.
Swift, yeah.
Yes, that girl, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So apparently she uses one of these bars. Like they have caught her. They have caught her at an adult person. She is an adult person. She's not a child.
Fucking adults. I'm getting a little tired of them.
Using an adult product, and there's everybody is scandalous, Kevin. They're clutching their pearls.
Nobody's worried about the Senate and what they're getting to the bottom of.
No.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Last week, U.S. authorities publicly announced the first seizure of some of the company's products, part of an operation confiscating 1.4 million illegal flavored e-cigarettes from China. Officials pegged the value of the items at $18 million, including brands other than Elf Bar. Now, I do have to say, Kevin.
Yeah.
They're claiming that they're getting 1.4 million products, and they're saying that's $18 million in value. Now, each one of those bars probably only costs about 60 cents to make.
Probably.
So
let's round it to $1 to be fair.
If they're reporting $18 million, they're reporting some sort of retail value to this. China's not out $18 million.
No, it'd be $1 at the most a piece with shipping, probably.
And they're putting them on cargo ships and sending them over in crates, Kevin. They're
right by the gazillions.
The shipping price for each one of those items is like 5 cents each or whatever, Yeah.
I already have my opinion of this.
Yeah, but the makers of Elf Bar and other Chinese e-cigarettes have imported products worth hundreds of millions of dollars while repeatedly dodging customs and avoiding taxes and import fees, according to public records and court documents reviewed by the Associated Press. Records show the makers of disposable vapes routinely mislabel their shipments as battery chargers or flashlights or other items, hampering efforts to block products that are driving teen vaping in the United States. Just don't let Taylor Swift use it and kids won't want it.
That's right.
The steps toward regulating disposables. I actually don't even know one song that she sings, to tell you the truth. I know that she's a singer, but I couldn't tell you what she sings. I'm sorry, young lady, but I don't know I don't know your shit.
Yeah, who cares? Here's the thing.
I mean, I'm lucky that I know the one Miley Cyrus song just because there's a video with her on a wrecking ball. So that
Right, Miley. So
what, Kevin?
In 2017, what did we have? We had every nonprofit political front group saying "Juul, Juul, Juul." Yeah. Now
ban all the cartridges.
What are they saying now? Elf Bar. So the next thing you're going to see, and you can timestamp my stupid ass, is that the Elf Bar is the new epidemic. Now, Mind you, kids, all of you, everyone, I love every one of you except Patrick. These are illegal products no matter what for a child. It doesn't matter. They have to be at least 21 years old, and nobody's
Kevin,
called and knocked on
Kevin,
anybody's door. What?
We just talked about a story where 10-year-olds are having babies.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Nobody's offering condoms either, are they?
Well, I'm just, you're saying that they're not legal for,
Well,
I would assume that it's not legal for 10-year-olds to be having relations,
can't
but somehow
imagine it would be.
10-year-olds are somehow doing it.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I'm
I wasn't
concerned.
10.
And I'm assuming that the daddies of those 10-year-old, the daddies of the babies that these 10-year, probably weren't 10.
Yeah, no.
The shotgun in my brain is already going shh, shh, and I'm just like,
I know. I can't imagine they would have been. No. But
okay,
God forbid they were vaping, because
Oh yeah. I don't see the uproar. You know what I'm saying, Kevin?
There isn't.
We've
been talking about this for
literally
3 fucking years. Nobody cares.
The uproar is about them vaping, but apparently the 10-year-olds having relations and having babies.
Yeah,
that's nothing. That's nothing to worry about. Okay,
there goes another one. What are we gonna do?
All of them popping out.
I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe maybe we've gotten to the old men in the balcony on the Muppets stage.
Oh, you should meme us that way. That's what I think.
I think that's that.
Look at them little fuckers.
We must be up there. This
Get off my lawn.
The steps toward regulating disposables have been very weak, and that has enabled the problem to get bigger and bigger, said Eric Lindblom, the former FDA official. He's a former FDA official. Why are you interviewing that piece of shit? He doesn't work there anymore.
Well, because it sells papers.
Yeah. Fruit and candy flavored disposables began pouring into the U.S. shortly before Chinese regulators banned vaping flavors last year. Officials there said that they were acting to protect children's health. But vaping executives and health experts note the ban came only after e-cigarettes began threatening the sales of traditional cigarettes, which generate $200 billion annually for China's state-run tobacco monopoly. Disposable e-cigarettes may soon become the victim of their own success. From Australia to England, governments are moving toward banning the single-use products, citing underage use and environmental. So, Kevin, this idea that so this is the level of intelligence of the average reporter, the average person that doesn't know anything about vaping. They actually think that these are single-use products. Like you only can vape them once, and they're done.
Yes,
So when they say that, there's as much nicotine in that single-use product as 2 packs of cigarettes, they literally believe that you're going to pull the tab on that thing and start inhaling it, and then in the time that you would smoke 1 cigarette, you're going to suck in 2 whole packs of cigarettes. That's what they believe.
I've mentioned this before, and it's not really to a point of any kind, but I used to think the average literacy age, reading age, the ability for you to read at a level was 7th grade. So I just Googled it, and the average American reads at the 7th to 8th grade level, according to the Literacy Project, if you can trust them. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in most Americans.
But I'm talking about the reporters.
Including the reporters. I'm sorry.
I would, you see these assholes, especially the British,
idiots.
We talked about the British newscasters recently quite a few times about how aggressively belligerent they are when interviewing pro-vaping people. And I'm just waiting for one of these people to say, wait. You actually think that this disposable single-use item is one puff or something? I mean, this lasts a person 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Maybe,
depending on how heavily they use it. But in the same amount of time, roughly, that they would smoke 2 packs of cigarettes, so when you say that it has the same amount of nicotine as 2 packs of cigarettes, you do realize that this lasts the same amount of time as 2 packs of cigarettes.
My device replaces approximately 10 to 15 packs of cigarettes. I was a couple packs, give or take, a day. That's 14. So I'll say 10 to 14.
Yeah.
Give or take. Replaces.
So it says here, the global backlash could lead vaping entrepreneurs to focus even more on the U.S., where loopholes and lax enforcement make it easy to disguise e-cigarettes among thousands of daily shipments arriving by sea and air. Now, Kevin, didn't they show us a dog like a couple weeks ago that could smell e-cigarettes? Didn't they?
Yes.
Didn't they say we have our canine officer is trained to
they got $20,000 sensors in the
vaping
bathroom
devices?
Yeah.
So you're telling me that we got a dog at some school that can smell a vape
Yep.
through a wall or through a locker door or whatever.
Yeah.
And we don't have these same dogs on the docks, like sniffing packages. No. Like,
no. Why not?
I got nothing. I mean, if this high school can do it, why can't ICE or whatever the immigration's? ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Yeah, why can't they do it? Seems odd to me, Kevin. I'm just saying. Yeah,
we don't know any.
So Elf Bar is the lead product of Shenzhen I Miracle, a privately held company based in Shenzhen, the sprawling Chinese manufacturing hub that produces more than 95% of the world's e-cigarettes. Elf Bar, Lost Mary, and other I Miracle brands are expected to generate $3.5 billion to $4 billion globally this year, according to industry analyst Sig Intelligence. In the U.S., I Miracle recently abandoned the Elf Bar name due to trademark disputes and efforts by regulators to seize its imports. Instead, its producers sold as EB Create in flavors like watermelon ice and frozen creamsicle. I really miss Fig's peach creamsicle e-liquid.
I saw that, Fig, by the way, if you're still in the room.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Fig, if you're there, you could, since you're not making it anymore, you could sell me or send me the recipe and I could make it myself. I wouldn't sell it to anybody. I just make it myself. I have no desire to get into the industry at all. Literally none, zero. But I would like to have the peach creamsicle. I'm just saying, yeah. Yeah. And a spokesperson for I Miracle said the company stopped shipping Elf Bar to the U.S. earlier this year and is trying to comply with regulators. All the Elf Bar branded products you see in the U.S. are counterfeit. I'm pretty sure about this, said Jacques Xing Li, who added that he only worked for I Miracle for 3 months and was still learning about its business. So this guy's name is Jacques, which is a French name.
I agree.
Xing Li, which is definitely not a French name.
No.
That's like when a telemarketer calls and it's definitely somebody with an Indian or Pakistani accent, and he says, "This is Chad
or Kevin." Yeah.
Hey,
one of them called my wife's phone yesterday and said they were turning off the power at 11:30. Well, that'd be awfully nice. I like that.
So it says here, when asked about EB Create e-cigarettes, he said, "I can't tell you anything about that." Details on the company's U.S. sales and activities are beginning to emerge in court documents. Earlier this year, I Miracle was forced to drop the Elf Bar name after losing a trademark case to a smaller company that already sold its own products as Elf Vapes. At a 2022 court hearing in the case, U.S. distributors described skyrocketing sales. Here's our friend John. John has been on the show, and he sponsored us for a whole year. Yes. John Glosser of Demand Vape in Buffalo, New York, told a federal judge his company had sold more than $132 million worth of Elf Bar products, accounting for a third of its yearly profits. We were selling it faster than we could get it in, Glosser said, according to the court transcript. Glosser attributed Elf Bar's quick rise to its profit margin. Sellers make about 30% of profit, double that of other disposable e-cigarettes, he said. iMiracle's parent company, Heaven Gifts, I have bought stuff from them, previously described how it would help customers evade import fees and taxes. Heaven's Gifts website advertised discreet shipping methods to buyers, including not mentioning cigarettes or its company name anywhere on the package. Instead, the company sends contents that could be labeled as atomizer, coil tube, etc. Or like if you buy something from adamandeve.com, it just says distribution center.
It does. What is that site again?
So I've been told. If you're in the market for adult products, I'm just saying,
Imagine. Huh. Well,
because they also advertise on their YouTube commercials, Kevin. YouTube commercials for adult pleasurable products.
I've never
advertised
seen
on
that.
YouTube. I have. That they
Here's
send
what I
everything
think.
out in discreet packaging.
I figure if I'm going to order something that's an adult product, I guess, have or not, I haven't, but who's going to know but my mailman, really? I guess. Who I never see.
The mailman knows you better than you actually want him to know you, Kevin.
And I don't care. I see a different one every once in a while, so I don't care. I guess. But
I'm just,
that's gone on for
they
decades.
they get to read your mail before you do. So, I'm just saying.
Well, our friends Phil and
they know
and Dee
all
Dee,
of your bad habits.
Don't they send each other things that say sex toys and crap in the mail? Haven't they done that to each other? That's hilarious.
They have.
I don't care. Test results.
As long as it, instead of ordering Adam and Eve, you're going to order from Adam and Steve.
That
fine. Might be a different. That might be more embarrassing. I'm just saying. We also mark a lower value to avoid tax. The website stated, adding that customers could suggest their own value for the shipment. In June, Heaven's Gift announced it would go offline shortly after the FDA directed customs officials to begin seizing shipments from the company. Despite the update, the company's spokesperson or spokesman indicated Heaven's Gifts remains in business and staffers continue using email accounts bearing its name. The spokesman did not respond to numerous follow-up questions about the company's business. Neither Heaven's Gifts nor iMiracle appear on customs data reviewed by the AP and compiled by Import Genius, a global trade analytics company. The seizure announced last week suggests part of the answer. The shipments arrived in LAX, and air carriers are not required to disclose the same details about their cargo as ocean vessels. E-cigarettes were mislabeled as toys, shoes, and other items. Ships docking in the U.S., which account for almost for most Chinese imports, must provide information on suppliers, recipients, and the types of cargo they carry. But importers can obscure their identities and products. So I'm not going to read the rest of this, Kevin.
No, I'm gonna hit 2 points. One, adults should do what adults should do, and that's what they should do. And it's none of my damn business. 2, if elf bars work, I've never even seen one, but if they work, I don't care about that anymore than I do Jewel. Don't care. Don't give no shits. None. Zero zip. Just for the record.
I mean, as long as people, you see Adam and Kevin there. You see that? Yeah.
I saw his earlier thing and I laughed, and that's funny. Poor Adam. Hey, I'm not in the Senate, buddy. What?
Oh dear, I don't even want to talk about that.
My friend and I went to Waffle House Wednesday evening, and he's been off for a week. And I said, "Hey, did you see what your politicians are allowing down at the capital of our country?" And he's really, really angry now.
So, Kevin,
what?
So if a bunch of people, and I'm not saying that what happened on January 6th was a good thing.
No.
Does it reach the level of insurrection? No, it does not.
I don't.
Insurrection, by definition, is an armed resistance.
Okay.
So Now I have seen video, and there's some video of unruly people going on in there. There's some people pushing on doors, and there was some awful tragedy stuff going on. I'm not going to say that, but this week,
this week.
So apparently this week, the beginning of the week, there was some controversy over a congressional Senate staff member, having sexual relations in one of the hearing rooms and videoing it.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
So people being somewhere they're not supposed to be in a government building,
a locked door, mind you. Go ahead.
Now that sounds exactly like the same thing that happened on January 6th to me. People that aren't supposed to be there in a government building where they're not supposed to be. That's bad enough.
It ain't hitting major news.
The second scandalous story this week, Kevin, also has to do with two fellas doing things that they're not supposed to do.
Oh, I didn't.
One of Jill Biden's press agents attended an event with the president and the first lady in, I think, Italy recently.
All right.
And apparently, so when the president goes somewhere, they usually take a big, huge chunk of the hotel that they're in. That nobody can be on the floor above or below the president. They take up 3 floors essentially.
Elvis took 6 here. Yeah. Yeah.
So like this, there is a security cordon up so that people cannot get near the president.
Yep.
So
rightly so.
Because he is the leader of the free world,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So anywho, this fella that works for Jill Biden went out about town while they were in a foreign country.
So they're in Italy, not in Washington. Okay.
All right. They're in Italy.
Yeah.
And he met a fella. The fella met a fella.
Okay.
And brought him back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Snuck him through the security cordon to the same floor.
Well, they allowed him through the security cordon. Yeah.
Well, he somehow got through. The Secret Service are saying, I mean, he got in trouble for it, but only after he had snuck in a foreign national.
Oh, Jesus.
Through the security, envelope, whatever you want to call it, and onto the same floor that the president of the United States and his wife were asleep in.
Alrighty then.
So, I mean, that one I just heard about that one today.
I didn't see it. I did not see it at all.
So,
I'm better off.
I don't care I don't care.
Nope.
But the fact that a White House staffer snuck somebody through, a foreign national, through the security cordon or envelope or whatever.
In a foreign country.
In
any kind. Okay. Oh.
I mean, that had, I'm concerned.
It hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. It does.
I mean, I'm concerned.
Well, like Michelle said, this is our house, not anybody else's. We own them, but I'm sure it's happened before.
I understand that there are certain places that have to be secure that need to be secure.
You'd think the Senate floor would be one, or wherever the fuck.
Well, that was a Senate hearing room.
Hearing floor.
It is adjacent. It is in the Capitol. It is adjacent to the security the Senate.
Don't they have Pinkerton guards doing the little key locks?
I would assume that they had some sort of security presence there at night, so that bad guys can't.
Like, here's $20, go
bombs
smoke a
or something.
Right.
But apparently this guy was able to get his friend in and have some aggressive
it's a thing, I guess, and that's more
You know.
power to them. I don't care what they do. I just care that they do it on government property.
Yeah, I'm
Or
just
so-
concerned that if a
Somebody
I don't
got to the bottom of it.
if a little twink can somehow sneak somebody into the Capitol building and film a porn video,
Send all hate mail
what
to
is
him.
stopping terrorists from sneaking into that same place and blowing up Congress?
Yeah, I'm just saying the same basic thing. I don't understand
I mean,
how you can have such lax security that you can be naked on the floor
if
or
some
desk
dude,
or whatever.
I mean, you would think that the Secret Service would be on high alert when they're in a foreign country.
I don't care what the guy was doing.
And
Why was he doing
somehow
it there?
allow some dude to bring up some person that they picked up in a bar up to the same floor that the president of the United States is. I mean, that guy could have been wearing a freaking suicide vest or something.
Bomb.
I mean,
yeah.
This is what's discouraging and worrisome. I mean, maybe the Secret Service want Joe Biden to get killed in a fiery bomb. I don't know, but it worries me.
Let's all go out for a smoke break, boys. Menthols, if you will.
Well, I mean, it's one thing. Mike Peterson, do you see Mike showed up at Christmas time?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Mikey says, well, a former president had adult relations in the Oval Office. I guarantee you more than one president has boffed somebody in the world in the Oval Office. But they weren't foreign nationals that somehow got snuck in. I mean, JFK probably banged Marilyn on the fucking presidential desk. They call the Resolute desk.
Teddy's the only one that was pissed about that.
I mean, I'm
the Oral Office. That's right.
I'm just saying.
Michelle, what? All I'm saying is if he can have sex on the Senate hearing room, then we all should be able to have sex in the Senate hearing room.
I'm sure Michelle Obama had sex with her boyfriend in the Oval Office too.
I just want everybody to get to the bottom of this and be over with it.
So it says here, vaping tax delayed over fears it could discourage smokers from trying to quit. That sounds like a good reason to block a tax on vaping products.
Well, yeah.
So Minister of Finance Michael McGrath held off on introducing a new tax on vaping amid fears it might put off smokers who were using e-cigarettes to break the habit. In a pre-budget submission, officials from the Department of Finance said a delicate balance needed to be struck to both discourage young people from vaping while also supporting existing smokers who were looking to give it up, Kevin. I mean, I think a while back, I actually tweeted that we could do both.
Yep.
Somebody read my Twitter. The Department of Health recommended e-cigarettes be taxed differently to traditional products based on their comparative health harms versus tobacco products. So a vape tax should be 95% less than a cigarette tax. Doesn't that make sense, Kevin?
Well, I'm against it altogether, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the department also advised that any new tax on e-cigarettes should be ring-faced for use in tobacco control and to help further reduce rates of smoking in Ireland. The Department of Finance's pre-budget submission explained how there are challenges involved in taxes on vaping, as there have been little progress on the EU level. It is a complex tax to implement without a EU framework, so this will take some time to design and operationalize, the submission stated. Well, I mean, if you just separate yourself from the EU, then you don't have to worry about, these globalists telling you what to do in your country. It added that any increase in duty on cigarettes and other tobacco products would be unlikely to bring in any extra income. Warning smokers would instead switch to alternatives, both illegal and illegal. And it said the latest survey had shown that the use of illicit products or packets sourced in other EU countries was at its highest ever level and was costing the state an estimated 415 million euros each year.
Huh.
And then there's anything about taxing alcohol, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's a sin right there. You definitely you can't tax alcohol.
It's a sin.
Can't do that.
You know, quite a few years ago, by the way, whoever said that, Michael, was it you? What's stopping you? Somebody got into the White House with not being on a guest list, and I don't even know who was president now at the time. And when it happened, I said on my Facebook, I need a date to go to the White House to see if I can get in because Janice won't go. Just so I could see if I could do it. I thought it would be fun.
I've been in the White House, Kevin.
Have you been in the White House?
I didn't have to have an invitation. I just paid the.
For a party or whatever the fuck they were doing. No, I've never been in the White House, and I don't want to be on any more Google watches than I am already when I speak directly into the microphone. But
I paid for a tour, Kevin.
Funny. Okay. No, I was at the White House for the rally. I did not go to the White House. Them fuckers were aiming weapons at us from the rooftops. I was just minding my damn business.
Well, you do look kind of squirrely.
I figured it was
untrustworthy. Yeah.
Well,
so this week, Kevin, this week we're gonna have multiple pieces of content from Africa. There's
some hotbed activity.
There's some shit going on in Africa. So this first piece here, this is a video piece from South Africa.
Yeah,
and we're not gonna play this for a while, but we're not gonna play the whole thing because it is like a 16-minute video. But we're gonna play some pieces of it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with Morning Live. And of course, your response to the question of the day, which relates to vaping. Now, the World Health Organization, children and non-smokers, and also to minimize health harms caused by smoking. Now, the organization says that action should also be taken in conjunction with measures to motivate and assist existing users of tobacco products to quit tobacco use lines. So this follows.
So healthcare workers and toll-free quit lines are successful.
Right. That's what I hear.
Okay, I heard that, but I wanted to be clear. Okay.
The next thing you're going to say, somebody's
widespread use of by underage children globally. To talk to us more about the impact of children using electronic cigarettes, we are joined virtually by Kurt Yeo, who is a co-founder of Vaping Saved My Life, as well as Professor Lekan Ayo Yusuf, who is a director of the National Council.
I know Kurt. I know him on Twitter, like in real life, but like I follow Kurt.
Against smoking and the Africa Center for Tobacco Industry Monitoring and Policy Research. Professor Kurt, thanks to both of you for joining us this morning. The World Health Organization has called for action on the use of electronic cigarette use by children worldwide. But how concerning is the situation in South Africa?
Thank you very much. The situation in South Africa is quite concerning, and more than anywhere else in Africa, South Africa seems to be an epicenter of a growing epidemic of e-cigarette use among children. The study from UCT looked at a number of high school children, and that's shown that this is quite rampant. And we've also we've been monitoring for the last 10 years, that young people, 16 to 34.
16 to 34. Those are young people, Kevin.
No, they're not.
16 16 to 34. Those are kids that we have to be concerned about. I'll agree on the 16 to 21 just because that's, acceptable.
Grooming.
The 21 to 34, those are adult people. Those are not young people.
Seen a tenfold increase in the use from about 0.4% to 4.1%. Importantly, these are.
Now, I'm wondering, in Africa, do 30-year-old kids today still live in their mom and dad's house and play video games all day? Is that like a global thing?
It hurts.
They
brain
won't get a
hurts.
job and get the hell out of the house. I thought that was only here. I'm just,
I saw the purple tube.
Often young people that are not necessarily smoking as well, but most of the time, even the small people will use e-cigarette occasionally, perhaps just for situational use over a weekend or for fashion. So it is
for fashion. So fashion, Kevin.
And we estimate currently.
While you're listening, I want you to pay extra attention to the young man in the right side of the screen who is signing the show or signing all, he's interpreting for the hearing impaired, and look at his expression while he's doing it. It's kind of funny.
Young e-cigarette users, about 300,000 of them are below the age of 20. So it is a big concern.
Is there any further light shed on that, Professor, in this research? Is the public perhaps being misled about the safety? Are there perhaps deceptive claims, false claims on the safety and efficacy for quitting cigarettes by taking on or using e-cigarettes, perhaps?
Yeah, because I've been doing tobacco research for the last 25 years in South Africa, and 13 years of that I was running cessation clinic. I ran randomized trials, helping TB patients to quit smoking at clinic. So we pretty much know what works, both in counseling patients, where we achieved about 22% quit rate beyond 6 months. So e-cigarettes came to South Africa on the notion that it could help smokers to quit. Indeed, a very novel.
Now, did I hear him just say that they conducted research and published studies and that counseling was 22% successful after 6 months?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
In my short amount of time, finding research on this topic since 2010, which is only 13 years, I have never seen that study.
I ain't seen 22% on anything except vape.
No.
Idea. But what we've found is that we looked at about 18,000 in the real world, as you can see from the WHO report. When you do an experimental condition like we've done in clinical trials, where you actually have people for a particular plan, tell them to quit, give them counseling, and give them eating.
More people. And apparently those extra 3 people are just not important, Kevin.
Didn't have e-cigarette, or they didn't have nicotine replacement therapy, which is the medicated
version.
However, when you go to real world, the studies have shown that e-cigarette does not help. And we've also done the same observation in South Africa. It's out of over 2,000 e-cigarette users. What happens is that they were able to quit by 6 months, they relapse. 6% comes to 50% of. Okay,
so they gave them e-cigarettes for 6 months for the study. And then after 6 months, they stopped giving them free e-cigarettes, and they couldn't afford to buy them, so they went back to cigarettes.
Those who did not use e-cigarettes. So indeed, e-cigarettes help some people, But what we say that if you have 3 people more creating, you have 4 young people starting, the net public gain or the next public benefit, the next public health effect is ample to the population. So all these banning is, what I'm saying is it should be regulated, because the reason why young people are picking up this habit is because it's not regulated. The advertisement is all over. The flavors are all over. You do not need all of that to help people to quit.
What? So he's saying I got to pause this for a second, Count. I'm not done, but I am going to pause this for a minute because I did encounter a tweet earlier today that disputes what that man just said.
Huh.
And I really I got to go to my profile here. I got to go to my profile. I got to scroll down because I did retweet it.
All right, that's fine.
Oh, here we go. I found it right away. So let me stop this, and I want to present this tweet. This was on my list of tweets that I was going to show you guys, so we're not going to see this one later, but this is from Paul F. And Paul F says, I had to try various flavors, nicotine amounts, and devices before I found what works for me and has kept me completely smoke-free for 7 years. All NRT products did not work.
Huh.
So that guy just said, you don't need all those flavors. You don't need all those. So
all right.
Paul
Well,
F.
we also, right, Paul knows. What we don't know is Zippy over there in Africa isn't saying, well, we just gave them tobacco vapes or we gave them one a week or what the whole context is or isn't.
Right. I just, I felt like this was a perfect time because I remembered this tweet. And the guy said, I had to try various things, various strengths, various devices to
Most
quit
people do.
Smoking. Okay. I just, want to go back to Zippy here, since that's what you have nicknamed him. Let's keep going.
So you need to regulate e-cigarettes. And this is the problem in South Africa. They are not regulated. I can tell you, was a cutting festival, and this young lady carries a few packs of cigarettes around her neck to advertise together with e-cigarette in the background. So we actually see dual use promote people to get into the cigarette. Since the tobacco industry bought the e-cigarette market, e-cigarette company, I think it was
what? Since Big Tobacco bought the e-cigarette company, like
no idea.
What?
I don't know.
So I mean, I'm assuming he's referring to Juul.
Must be.
2019, the situation has become
so like
really
he thinks
worse.
there's only one company that makes e-cigarettes.
Clearly, yeah. Why not?
Nick Salt come in great. So this is really bad with regulation. And everybody does.
Bring you in, listening to what the professor had to say, the World Health Organization saying that the promotion of e-cigarettes has led to a marked increase in use by children and adolescents, with rates exceeding adult use in some countries. So are you concerned about this particular aspect?
Now, I want to point out that there is a young man on the right-hand side of the screen who is interpreting for the hearing impaired, but he's only important when all three of them are on screen because that's the only time that they show him. So the entire time that this other gentleman was just speaking, there was no interpreting going on for the hearing impaired. And now that Kurt is going to try to rebut this guy's nonsense, I'm just assuming that the hearing impaired will not be able to hear what he's saying or to see.
I am.
I'm concerned not only because I believe and strongly believe that vaping or do help adult smokers quit or at least practice harm reduction, but as a father and of a thought, e-cigarettes need to be regulated. And it's been in a regulatory holding pattern since 2018. But unfortunately, we've been sitting on our hands around this. Unfortunately, the bill that has been draconian, and I have to agree, is that no one wants to see people under the age of 18 using any form of nicotine at any stage. But unfortunately, in South Africa, we don't have a vaping problem. We have a smoking and an illicit problem. Currently, we have over 2 million kids smoking cigarettes, whereas according to the global adult tobacco survey, which was conducted in 2021, only 3.1% of that same cohort was using e-cigarettes. At the same time, 23.9% was smoking cigarettes. And I agree that studies that was done by UCT, where it looked at vaping in the high school setting, is critical. It's important that we keep doing these studies, but we need to put context to that. That study was done on a very, very small biased selection criteria that selected quintile 5 schools. That kind of study needs to expand, and it needs to expand across all the spectrums. We need to understand the whole suite of issues around here and the complexity. So I agree, regulations have to happen. The damming down of marketing and advertising around e-cigarettes, the messaging is wrong. I agree 100%. But we also need to realize that this product is vital to helping people, adults, quit smoking or at least practice harm reduction. And we've seen this being adopted by places like UK and New Zealand. And in fact, in some cases, the UK is providing free vapes to people that want to quit smoking. And New Zealand actually have a website that promotes these things for people that want to quit smoking.
So just quickly on the policy side of issues, Kurt, you've mentioned, the word draconian with regard to some of the laws. You've said that the Department of Health and policymakers are actually failing to recognize the harm reduction tools like.
Did you see this guy's expression over here when she said harm reduction?
Yes. I don't like that.
Just saying.
Vaping, and that these could actually substantially reduce costs to the economy. How so?
Look, for example, a lot of the regulations around that, we can't dispense. The product cannot be purchased through any form whatsoever. So me simply stating, for example, that Royal College of Physicians consider that vaping is 5% or carries less than 5% of the harm when compared to smoking, could see me face jail time. So if a product, if we look at, for example, people using a product in their own home, could face up to jail time as well. And then we look at, for example, some of the stuff around the definition of the bill. I know a lot of people saying that this bill, for example, says that it's for indoor spaces. But if you look at the definition of the bill, it says enclosed space, enclosed areas. And when they define enclosed, it says anything that has a wall or a roof is considered enclosed. It's not about indoor. So we need to be very careful around this. So unfortunately, a lot of the bill doesn't take into consideration people that are smokers, people that need help. There's very little in the way of services and help in South Africa to help these individuals quit. We only have smoking cessation clinic in one place, and that's by Prof. Van Zyl-Smit in UCT. We don't have cessation counseling in our public health spaces. We don't even provide nicotine replacement therapy as an essential medicine to the. So what is that? Is it only relied on one thing and to quit, and that's to quit or die, cold turkey. And we know, based on the World Health Organization, that's an incredibly unsuccessful method of doing so.
Kurt's chewing him up. The link for this video, this is there's still 5 more minutes. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but Kurt's chewing it and spitting it out right here.
Yeah.
So just go give that a video and then retweet it and tag Kurt in it, because We
Go
like
Kurt.
Kurt.
It's
Kurt's one of us.
perfect
Kurt's
words,
fam.
Michael.
He's
All in the
big
wording,
fam.
huh, Patrick?
Always in the wording. Always. Always. Oh, here's one, Kevin. This is a good one. I like this one here.
You still pissed
Let me
off about the 10-year-olds?
I'm gonna go to sleep tonight pissed off about the 10-year-old, Kevin.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna have revenge fantasy dreams tonight of just killing pedophiles all night.
Just go. Well, they don't. You and I both know they don't care. We both know they don't care.
I am so looking forward to like those dreams tonight, Kevin. I'm just saying. So this says GCCISD installs county's first vape drop box, Kevin.
GCCISD.
Yeah, this is a school site that is putting vape disposal boxes up so that the kids. It's a Texas. This is Baytown. This is by Houston.
Is that a county label or is that a police label?
Well, it says police right there.
Okay, I don't have it. You're minimized. It's too bright.
Why?
Hold on, don't move your screen. Okay, it says you're right. It says police. I didn't believe you. There.
Okay. So they're putting up vape recycling boxes at schools. That's a good idea right there, Kevin.
It's a great idea.
So it says here about 3.6 million adults and 5 million middle and high school students vape. The Bay Area Council on Drugs and Alcohol reports many school districts are overwhelmed with confiscated vape devices and the need for proper disposal. Many users do not realize vape devices must be handled as hazardous waste and not thrown into the trash. The Goose Creek County ISD, I think Goose Creek County Independent School District, police department paired with Bacoda to create a drop-off for vapes and e-cigarettes. The drop box located at the GCCISD Police Department lobby will be used internally by GCCISD to properly dispose of devices. It will also be open to parents and children in the district to dispose of vapes they find in their child's possession. This is the first vape drop-off in Harris County. The school district does not stop at vaping. Florentino Martinez, a GCCISD officer who worked on the project, also recently won an award of excellence from the Baytown Chamber of Commerce in November. His most notable works for the district include implementing a Narcan training program and saving a student's life. That's pretty cool. So if you live in the area, just send your kids to school with your empty vapes and tell them to drop them off in the drop box.
That's right.
And I guarantee you there's not a camera pointed right at the drop box.
No.
So that this
I didn't think of that either. No.
Can video every kid that's dropping stuff off there.
Well, you're in a public area, right?
I'm just saying,
As long as one party knows in most states. Yeah.
That can't be entrapment. No.
I don't answer questions. Am I under question?
No. That would never happen. No.
It doesn't say anonymously, does it? Nope.
So you know Mark Gunther, right, Kevin?
I know of the man, yes.
Okay.
I follow and read him. Yes.
I've actually spoken to him on the telephone. He interviewed me or asked me some questions, and I pointed him out to some
telephone name dropping.
Much better, well-spoken people that
I touched Vig's hair,
would not use curse words. Yeah. So this is published in the Chronicle of Philanthropy. I didn't realize there was a magazine or a news site about philanthropy. But anyway, it says how a debate over vaping might derail the war on tobacco. Anti-smokers aren't just fighting big tobacco. They're fighting amongst themselves. And this is from Mark Gunther. As a lawyer, you mother. Fucker.
Well, see, there you go.
Mark.
You have
I'm
to
not
go
doing it.
incognito. Maybe.
No, it's not gonna. It won't even let me do that.
I did one the other day. It wouldn't do it either. Yeah. It's a quick tip for you folks that get those things from like the Wall Street Journal. If you do an incognito browser at times, not always. If you do it too many times, it won't let you. It will let you read it, but not always.
You bastards. Well,
yeah.
If you have not somehow worn out your welcome, you can actually see that article. Motherfucker.
We've all worn out our welcome.
I'm just going to go on to the next thing, Kevin. I am not doing this. I am not.
They're fighting amongst themselves, though. I like that.
I'm not doing it.
I'm wrong. No, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You people, what do
That's
you
the funny
mean,
part
you
about
people?
the whole thing. You got some people who say it is, and you got some people who say it isn't, and nobody wants to prove themselves right on the isn't side. And I've never figured that out. They have to just prove themselves right, and they won't. They just keep yakking and babbling and flapping their gums. And flavors and children and blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Do you remember, did you see Rush's induction into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 for 3 minutes. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
Great.
I'm amazed you haven't seen that.
That was great. No, that's not the right one.
Look
I was
at
looking to see if I could find it in a different website.
VPN.
I'm gonna shame. I'm gonna shame him for writing a piece and then sharing it on the internet and making it.
He is not responsible for their stupidity.
I'm just quite grumpy about this, to tell you the truth. Because Mark was my friend, but now he's not my friend anymore.
Now listen to Jason. We sound like the angry guys in the Muppets balcony.
Didn't I just? That's who we are. That's exactly who we are.
Somebody make a meme, but anyway, get it over with.
We're gonna have to find a screenshot of the thing, and then I'll have to Photoshop our faces onto the puppets.
And I'll be doing this, or
yeah. So, oh shit! No, stop! Yeah, I gotta stop that for a second.
Is it time?
Kevin.
What?
Do you know what time it is?
It's got to be Michael. If you're still in the room, we need you to have this done correctly for us because we suck. Vape Cat's tweet of the week.
It's time for the Vape Cat's X of the week.
So,
oh God, love you. What?
The tweet that you sent with exclamation marks, and you said X post of the week.
That's right.
And so this is from Claire Zagorski.
Now I follow her, and I don't remember if she follows me. It's not important. Says Zagorski? Yes, I believe. Claire SCLP. I don't know what that means, and I don't really care at the moment. I also don't want. I can't see it because you got her.
I don't want to hear your takes on smoking cessation if you literally cannot imagine a single reason why anyone would ever smoke. Millions and millions of people have smoked. If you can't be curious about the why of such a vast phenomenon, then you give me the creeps.
You fuckers. I'm just adding that in. That's ad-libbed.
You have to add a little bit of emotion when you're reading a tweet like that, Kevin.
Michael explains she's a big harm reduction advocate. That's evidently why I follow her. I followed her some time ago, I guess, because I don't remember doing so. But I was glad I did.
And then she continues, Kevin. She says, and yes, this is aimed squarely, precisely, and exactly at public health. Public health's rejection of the qualitative and subjective human experience as it relates to poor health is a bad idea. In short, she wants to throw a chair at somebody.
That's my kind of advocate right there.
I do like her spunk.
I'm,
I do enjoy her
I'm
spunk.
fond of her demeanor.
So I do like her spunk. Is all I'm saying, Captain.
She's in the notes. Follow her, people. Follow her, please, please. And retweet that.
So, Kev, I could again. I have a hard time finding one tweet that I feel is the best.
Yeah, it is hard.
But
It's
this week I have not just I have selected a tweeter, an X poster, a person to be
beautiful human.
My beautiful human of the week, and this is Joel Sawa from Uganda.
Nice.
So this week I saw a lot in my perusing of the nicotine space. I saw quite a few posts from Joel with the hashtag of THR Uganda. So there must be stuff going on in Uganda, because there's a bunch of stuff. And if you're not all following Joel, I did include his Twitter handle in my show notes, because I think we need to spread our attention outside of our normal spaces and see, our brothers and sisters that are fighting the same fight that we are all over the place. So
I see
Joel
Giovanni and Southern Vapor.
So I'm really pushing Joel this week. So if you're not following Joel, he is at Joel Sawa. Joel. So the exact tweet that caught my attention, though, was this tweet that Joel says here, and he says, "Madam Emo Debeki, I have been smoking for over 30 years, tried severally, but I do not have the strength within me to quit. You've mentioned medical products. Well, do you have a pill that I can swallow and quit just once and for all?" This is from a distressed smoker, and this is THR Uganda, hashtag day 2. And there's a picture of this young man. He's apparently this is the young man that is asking, "Do you have a pill that I only have to take once, or is it some sort of thing that I have to take for a long time, or whatever?" And then if I go over here to Joel's timeline, his account, or whatever you want, his whatever, he's reposting Global State comments, blah blah blah. He's reposting our friends from India, Kurt. So he's well in or around our fellows here. He's on with this guy Joshua, who's also in my list of posts today. Joshua THRU in the day's briefing and training with the community educators and THR ambassadors, explaining it is the easiest way possible to allow for understanding. People die from the tar, but what causes the appetite is the nicotine. So we've heard a various version of that, right?
Yep.
And then he's retweeting Grimm. I mean, So we're gonna get into the ECA thing in a little bit, boys and girls, but not yet. So
beautiful human.
Yeah, we like this guy
Global
already. He's
humans.
He's our new friend. So then we're gonna go over here. We're gonna find another. We're gonna find another tweet from Uganda today.
That's the one I saw. Was the one you got?
This one here. This is from Rebecca that he was tagging, and she says in her profile, "I am a THR reduction advocate. I believe voices of women in tobacco spaces need to be heard, rights of female smokers, and our women's rights." So we should give her a follow because she's our sister. So it says here, sharing THR information in the local dialect is paramount in this campaign for safer nicotine alternatives. The local leaders and stakeholders fully understood the concept of tobacco harm reduction and how nicotine is not the killer, it's the tar.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that she didn't put it all in lowercase. She knows that this is an acronym, total aerosol residue, right? Smart woman. We already know her.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have another fella from Uganda that also needs our attention. And it's loading. Give me 1 second. And this is another fella that was in that. There, I saw Janine. Do you see Janine? So this is day 3. Understanding the perspectives of users and the type of nicotine products they choose to use is important. Is the only way of creating feasible and empathic solution. Collecting users' perspective was one of the goals of this day. So,
Patrick.
meeting them where they are, Kevin.
I was just going to ask, isn't that what that means? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's essentially the same stuff that you and I spout all the time. And these are people that we've never met before, Kevin. These are our
Janine,
friends from all over the place.
Janine gets 1 demerit, and then we take it back away. So you're resolved.
Why would you give Janine what?
We took it away. Nothing.
But why would you even initially give it to her?
Well, she allegedly was
She's
late.
our friend. Why are you attacking our friend, Kevin?
Shut up. 10-year-olds, Patrick.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Janine missed the part where I
know.
I
riled Patrick up
because Janine would have been right beside me in the riled up category of kicking people's ass and threatening to shoot pedophiles. I am 100% positive I could have handed her a loaded gun and she would have finished the job. So the next post is not from Uganda, Kevin. This is our friend Alexander Nussbaum.
Yep. Yeah.
And he says the WHO denies that such sciencey stuff has any implications for moving millions of women and men who smoke away from the most harmful form of consuming nicotine. Who is right? Time will tell. If you have no sense of urgency, hashtag science is already telling us today. And this is from the NTR Journal. HTPs and e-cigs provide significant relief from negative symptoms that maintain smoking. Yeah. So there's that one. What?
Patrick.
What?
If e-cigarettes, let me read that again. I gotta make you bigger here.
You gotta rub it, Kevin. Rub it.
If e-cigs and HTPs that heat not burn, heated tobacco product. Okay, if they provide significant relief from negative symptoms that maintain smoking, what does NRT do?
It's not really the same thing, but okay.
Well, no, it provides significant harm by keeping.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, a very small percentage of the people, it actually helps them quit smoking, but the other guys just, it don't work, so that it just makes them smoke some more.
You're screwed. You may as well be on the Senate floor. Okay, I got you. Sorry.
You might as well be getting fucked up the ass. But oh, never mind. Damn it, Kevin.
What?
Well, I mean, that kid that broke into the Senate hearing room to have relations with his friend.
Yeah.
He just did the same thing the Senate have been doing to us for years.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right. So here's another one. This says, California, no, you cannot have flavored nicotine, but here's a spot for you to shoot fentanyl and a clean needle. I thought I would have gotten more of a schmedley out of you than that. I mean, I thought I would have gotten a more substantial chuckle.
There's so many ways I can do that, I guess, but I don't even know what California is. Is it still a state of
yes.
confusion, or is it state of stupidity? What is it a state of? They're so far out of reach and touch that they're confusing me.
Fine.
These were the people who wanted freedom, right? Is that, am I wrong?
California is not really much on freedom, Kevin. They
like
like
California.
They want somebody to hold
dreaming.
hold their hand and guide them through. That's all they.
The California dreaming is all I can think of. These, the '60s hippies were, they were. When did they become the Muppets in the balcony?
No, that's our spot.
Oh well, fuck them. Let's get them out of there.
That's only they can't have it.
Does that complete our Vape Cats X's of the week?
Those are all of the X's
All
of
right.
the week, Kevin. And you disappointed the shit out of me. I mean,
hey, 10-year-old.
I'm quite proud of the Ugandan tweets, to tell you the truth. Like, those guys, I think are rock stars, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But here, let me show you this one. Here, check this one out.
All right.
So, yeah, you are absolutely gonna love this one. You're gonna think this is better than sliced white bread. I promise you.
The
like
World
weed.
Health Organization saying urgent action is now to control and protection as a bit of a moving goalpost, say that vaping has not been shown to be effective or quitting e-cigarettes.
So the WHO says that vaping has not been shown. You see how he really focused on the not here. Let me scroll back just a few seconds here.
All right.
Moving goalposts.
Not
so vaping has.
He really wanted to emphasize that not
Be effective for quitting cigarettes or say nicotine. Now, according to the WHO, here's the stats for you. According to them, 34 countries have banned outright the sale of e-cigarettes or vaping. 8 have no minimum age bought. More than that is 74 countries have absolutely no regulations in place at all. It's almost
so. I want everyone to understand something. Now, he's not actually talking about science. He's just throwing numbers out there of the numbers of countries that do and don't have regulation on vaping. But let's understand that science doesn't care what the consensus of opinion is.
No.
It doesn't matter how many people agree or disagree to the veracity of your science. If your science is sound, I don't care who agrees with it or not, because the science is the science, and the science, the facts don't care about your feelings. I mean, that's just the way it is. So when he says these countries, 34 countries or whatever, blah, 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 it doesn't matter the number of countries that do or don't, because that doesn't prove anything about the product itself.
That just shows how many people get brainwashed and who doesn't.
Yes, that's just that is just an indication of how many people Michael Bloomberg has paid off. I mean,
that's it.
easier to buy a vape in some countries than it is to try and buy some sweets. Professor of
now he says it's just as easy in some countries to buy a vape as it is to buy candy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that.
I don't either, but that's again opinion.
I absolutely don't believe that.
critical care and pulmonology at Wits University. It's Prof. Guy Richards, very kindly making some time for us this afternoon.
Now, how uncreative do your parents have to be to name you Guy, if you're a guy?
To have you with us. And as I mentioned, it seems to be a bit of a move goalpost. It's a way allegedly to stop smoking a few years ago, or weren't smoking until it could be the worst thing you ever do in your life. Where do you stand on
the worst thing that you could ever do in your life, Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
I can think of 100 things.
Well, 10-year-old sex is one of them.
Than vaping. Okay, that definitely that's on the list.
Going
Pointing
into the
a gun at
Senate
your head
room
and pulling the trigger. That is, yes, going to, following some twink into
Locked doors,
Senate
yeah.
hearing room, hooking up with some dude in Italy that works for the president's wife. That's also right out. Trying to run for president in a bunch of states. We're going to talk about that later. There's some really sneaky election bullshit happening, and and it's not just Trump being removed from a ballot. Is that we all know that ain't going to stay very long. That's not going to happen. But anyway, claiming that vaping is one of the worst things that you could ever do is just. Janine, you are definitely not older than James. You are and always will be 21 years old.
21.
Well, 21. I think 22 is a better age. It's symmetry. Symmetrical.
On this. Good morning.
Is it me or is it potting?
Well, I'm not shooting gold. The real problem is for some.
Oh my God, we don't know what's in them, Kevin. We don't know what's in them because they're so new.
Wits University.
Side effects that may occur from these devices. It's been a vast natural experiment, really. We are told by the tobacco companies and the marketers of these devices are less harmful. But that's without evidence. In fact, you have actually determined the level of the effects that might occur in patients that actually utilize them.
I found that video, Kevin.
Yeah.
Well, say something.
Okay. If you're one of them fuckers who doesn't know enough or doesn't know enough yet, shut the fuck up because you don't know enough. I'll probably say that again eventually. Yes, Michelle.
It's possible.
All women are 21. They either want to become 21 or they want to be 21. So 21 is the age that I use. Every woman is 21.
There's no way that she's. I'm not even going to say what she said. That's not true at all. She said that she's going to be 66. That's not true.
No.
So I do know that the people that made that video, they actually did a print and then they treated the print article, and it got community noted.
Oh, is that the ETR fuckers?
Yeah. They got community noted. And then apparently they decided to retweet the same lie.
Lie. You can't say anything else but lie. If you just said anything else but lie, I'd have gotten my fucking car, drove down there, beat your ass, and come back, and made sure you're okay when I got home.
And I'm assuming, I don't know if maybe they turned the comments out. I mean, I don't know how they expected it. They're not going to get community noted again. That's all I'm saying.
When they do,
don't really.
All hell should break
Don't
loose.
really feel like that.
Because we ain't got one that could lie twice. I don't think.
Oh shit! I forgot. There's another tweet that I forgot. Here's another one, Kevin.
This is why I don't like you.
It's from my Ugandan friend.
Oh,
the reason this is the one that I like. This is actually the best one. Everyone tells me to quit smoking, but I refuse and am unable to do so, says Mr. Oakware. I live alone, and the cigarettes is my one companion and source of solace.
Mm-hmm.
It says, James, there is no quit or die option since some users are unwilling to give up.
That's the one I saw.
And
it was a second to and I saw it from you probably. I was going to pick that one, and I didn't. I chose the one I had, but that's okay.
So Janine doesn't know what community notes are?
Well, show her. That way. And I'm confused on how you get in it, because I think I've joined, but it doesn't show me much. But sometimes I can vote on them and sometimes I can't. So I'm not sure how it works. But
you can, anybody can vote. Anybody can vote on
Raja got one. Raja Karishmi got one a while back.
tweet.
So, yeah.
On whether or not I think anyone can community, not anybody can community note, but anybody who's read a community note can vote and say whether it's been helpful or not. But when you do vote, on the bottom of that, it says, please sign me up for community notes.
I've hit that like 5 times and I stopped doing it.
Or I haven't done it once, but I can't remember who.
So community notes, Janine, the community will. Oh, you got one? It will tell you underneath the tweet in question how truthful that is or isn't.
I'm trying to find it.
And Raja got one last week.
I thought it was,
and that made me laugh.
Let me remove this so I can. But yes, community notes allows people to, if you post something that's full of shit, they can say it's full of shit, and here's why it's full of shit. Here's the scientific. Here's some scientific stuff to refute your nonsense, and that way you can stop the spread of lies and misinformation on the X's. Now, you can community note anybody. So prior to the purchase of Twitter and renaming it to X, you could not question certain people about certain things without being labeled, fake news or whatever, But now it is a built-in feature where you are completely allowed to question anyone and back it up with facts. Here's facts on this topic that you have just lied about. So I quite enjoyed that as a feature of the application, because there are people that before thought they could say anything they want to say and nobody would be able to stop them.
Yep.
Well, since it's I'd say it's been around for a couple months. Janine's asking, so it's relatively new.
Yeah, relatively. Oh, crap.
A couple months, like I said. I'm still trying to find tweet. I'm scrolling and my finger is getting sore from scrolling and scrolling.
Janine, I'll throw in for time. I used mine only because I know that's where it is. I can't find his offhand, but I put a screenshot on my tweet of his tweet and the context underneath. That's what it would look like for you. Anyway, if you see it, you'll know it. As soon as you know it, you'll know it, or see it rather.
Damn.
What are you doing over there, Zippy?
My chat is my chat on the YouTube was just flying. There it is.
Okay.
The
one in question that he's looking for has been done once, and community noted, and then they retweeted the same exact lie as Patrick said. It's a lie, and it's.
It's a duplicate of the tweet. They just retweeted the same lie, the same exact lie.
The next day.
I really depressed. I'm really depressed that these people can get away with shit like that, and nobody is going to stop them.
It's just, well, evidently the community is. It's getting old.
Our community is, but people are still buying into the lie,
Hmm? Well, I told you we can read at about an 8th grade level or so, whatever I said. 7th, 8th. The comprehension of the country is so bad, and it's been that way for years. I read that in one of them newspapers when I was driving a cab years ago, and it said that the average reading level of the Americans was 8th grade, and I'm like, what? And it's still the same. And 10-year-olds are having sex and getting pregnant.
I just mean
while you're I know the Senate thing doesn't. You should have seen my buddy Steve when I told him. I said, I'm going to go to take a leak. Did you see what they did in the Senate this week? And he's like, what? Because he's been off. I said, just look up Senate hearing room. And he came back and he was red as my hair. He was so mad.
Okay, here we go. All right.
All right.
I knew Philip had something to do with it, so now I can. Okay.
Nah.
So, Philip retweets their community noted. So, in case you missed it, public health advocates from all over the world came together to correct your verifiably inaccurate statement regarding the utility of vaping as a cessation method for people who want to quit and stop smoking. Thank you for your input. And this is the original tweet. So they tweeted, discussion, vaping hasn't proved effective to quit smoking, health experts. So this is down here, Janine, all of this is community notes.
Is automatically there now.
I rated this as helpful. So it says it's false. Here's a blah, blah, blah. Here's another link, blah, blah, blah. And then tons of other people have posted below it. Yo,
yeah, Kurt.
You're lying. Here, look. So now this is a new feature so that when you tweet a misinformation and it gets community noted like this, it shows up right under it on your original tweet. It's right here. So it says readers added contacts. Boom, your shit's a lie. But then they turned around. This was the December 20th tweet.
Yeah.
This is the original. If I click over here and go to their profile and scroll down to the 21st,
it'll take you a minute because
they
tweet a lot.
Retweeted the same lie. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they just retweeted it thinking that we wouldn't community note it again. What'd you say, Kev?
She is not 66. I saw, I think it was last night, something that was that they can't hide this community note, Michelle. That may be what I'm thinking. It said we're leaving. They tried. I don't know if they said it tried to delete it, but they said that we're leaving it here so viewers can see for themselves or something like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's a new feature I didn't know. So I don't know what I was reading and what it was for.
This is the original. This is the one from the 20th.
Yeah.
And this is community noted right here so everybody can see it. But then here's the retweet on the 21st of the same exact tweet.
Mm-hmm. And it's
so
going
I don't know because I haven't signed up for community notes. So I don't know. But there are 50 responses here.
And I'll bet you 49.
And 3 people have bookmarked it. So they're like, hey,
we're watching.
Grim says reposting the same information after getting community noted is real journalistic integrity. And then Phil says repeating your verifiably false claim doesn't make it true. In case you missed it, you've been community noted for this same post. So yeah, people aren't going to let this shit stand.
It's not going anywhere now because no, fuck you. That's how that feels. You might as well be on the Senate floor because we're going to catch you.
We're not. So at least it's saved forever, right?
Yeah, screenshots are forever.
The original masters at Twitter never have allowed that option. For the users to question the veracity of certain experts.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
No. So Kevin, here is the last. This is the last episode or the last article of the non-Rumble stuff.
All right.
This is the last one.
Are you going to make me
after this? After this, you have to follow us over to Rumble because That's really, we're going to be off the hook over there. So let me put this up here. You're going to love this. Recently this week, I've seen a lot of articles about Singapore banning vaping and criminalizing vaping and how much trouble you can get if you get caught vaping in Singapore.
They've caned people, I believe.
Yes. But now this week they've even passed more stringent. Former anti-vape investigation officer charged with molesting suspects and seeking sexual favors. The man allegedly offered leniency in the form of an out-of-court fine rather than court action in exchange for sexual gratification.
Is he American?
No, he's Singaporean. This is Singapore, Kevin.
Is he a former Senate guy or
no?
Right. Okay.
There's no Senate hearing rooms involved in this at all, Kevin.
Just checking.
Okay. A former investigation officer looking into e-cigarette offenses was charged on Wednesday for molesting suspects, making insulting comments against them, and seeking sexual gratification in exchange for leniency. Zaini Ibrahim, a 54-year-old Singaporean man, was handed 13 charges of comprising a mix of corruption, insulting modesty, and outraging of modesty offenses. According to a statement from the Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau, Zaini was an investigation officer at the time of the alleged offenses. His services were outsourced by Health Services Authority to a company called WSH Experts. CPIB said Zaini had carried out investigations on vaping offenses on behalf of HSA since November of 2021. He is accused of trying to get sexual gratification from a woman he was investigating for e-cigarette offenses in July 6th of 2022. He allegedly offered leniency in exchange for recommending a notice of composition, referring to an out-of-court fine instead of court action. Zaini is also accused of molesting 2 female suspects on separate occasions at the WSH office. On top of this, he allegedly insulted the modesty of 2 women he was investigating in June and July, either in person at WSH offices or through WhatsApp messages. This is why I don't use WhatsApp. There's a lot of people that really want me to have WhatsApp, and I don't like it.
Nope.
Plus, I think it's a Chinese app, and the China are probably spying on me, because I'm so important. The messages Zaini is accused of sending include one telling a woman that he would like to see your hair down there, and another asking a woman what her breast size was. He allegedly asked a woman in the WSH office if she was a virgin and talked about performing sexual acts. He is also accused of making a lewd comment linking a vape device and a woman. Accused asked for a gag order. Zaini said he intended to plead guilty, but was waiting to see the outcome of his application to the public defender's office for a lawyer. He said he disputed certain parts of the charges, such as the English translation of a Malay insult he was accused of making. He also asked for a gag order to be applied on him and his family, saying his son was in the final year of Polytechnic, so he did not want his identity to be published. The judge said she imposed a gag order on the victims' names, but not on the accused, as gag orders are meant to protect victims.
There you go.
Good, you dirty bastard. HSA said, well, no, never mind, Kevin. I was going to bring up the 10-year-olds again. And
well, see.
HSA said on Thursday that it takes a serious view of any wrongful conduct by its officers, as well as officers of outsourced vendors, and will deal with them severely. I hope he gets caned a bunch of times. The investigation officer services were terminated immediately following the internal investigation, said the authority, in response to queries from CNA. As part of the established protocol, the investigation officer must ensure that a female officer is present in the interview room at all times when a female subject is being interviewed. This is made known to the outsourced service provider. In this case, HSA said the alleged Offenses happened in the interview room at the vendor's premises. Following this incident, HSA said it has worked with the outsourced vendor to adapt additional safeguards whereby the presence of a female administrative staff member is required in the room at all times when a male investigation officer is interviewing female subjects. And he's going to court. If convicted of corruption, he could be jailed for up to 5 years and fined $100,000 or both. For insulting the modesty of person, he could be jailed up for a year and fined. For molestation, he could be jailed for 3 years and fined. He cannot be caned as he is above 50.
The fuck does that
That
mean?
is bullshit.
We were rooting for caning.
I really was kind of hoping he'd get his ass beat. Just saying. Just saying, Kev.
I just don't. I used one of your statistics the other night with my friend about the school and the 10% thing. Mm-hmm.
Did he argue and deny that was the truth? Did he say that school teachers would never do that? Okay.
No, because he assumes that we're both quality people that wouldn't lie, first of all. And I told him that you had shocked me with that at first, and you had it on the screen, and I'm like, oh my fucking word. So anyway, I figured I'd share that with you before.
That's why if I ever do have a kid, I'm quitting my work immediately so that I can homeschool my child.
Yeah,
There is no way I would send my kid to a public school. And the first thing, if I had a daughter, the first thing I would teach her when she was able to lift up a gun is how to shoot it. The second thing I would teach her is how to use a switchblade to emasculate a man.
Well, your wife would probably do that for you. She likes the knife.
And I would personally go out and buy her a Microtech out the front knife with a push button knife.
Yeah. And I don't answer questions.
And the instruction would be to keep stabbing until the police came. And when they come, act extremely hysterical. And,
am I being detained?
Tell them that you blacked out.
I want my attorney. Gene. Yes. Past 3 years of yes.
I have had several police officers tell me what to say.
Yeah.
All right, Kev. How do you want to say? Oh, here for the losers that are that weren't here earlier.
You telling me that I fuck with my friends and then you just call them losers now? See what
that weren't here when I put the link in for the Rumble. We're moving over from here. The name of the YouTube show is called Goodwill Vaping.
Goodwill.
The name on Rumble is called Social Warfare.
Oh,
and that's where we
social
will be.
Political, just social.
Yeah. Well, you'll get an idea when we get over there.
I'll find out, won't I? I want my friends to have a great whatever it is they celebrate. I'm not a necessarily politically correct guy, so happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, so all that happy stuff that you are going to involve yourself in with you and your friends and your family. Because I didn't know if we were doing a show next week or not. Are we?
Why wouldn't we?
All right. Then until then.
The holiday is not until Sunday, Kevin. We do the show on Friday.
Yeah, I know. So ho, ho, ho.
Who are you calling a hoe?
That's right.
Is Andrew still here? Because Michael's not here. Michael left. He came in, said a few words, and left. And
Janine. Yes. Yes, Owl.
So just saying.
Good night, Michelle.
This is America. We have Christmas and Hanukkah. That's it.
Kwanzaa. We have.
That's not a real holiday, Kevin. That's made up shit right there. That's not a real holiday. That's some white liberal arts woman invented that holiday. That's not even bullshit.
What?
In the 60s. Hanukkah, not Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a made up holiday.
Stop it.
And Festivus as well. That's also a made up holiday, but we actually enjoy the airing of grievances. So we will let that one stand.
Oh. Yes, I love you all except Patrick.
Janine's not going to follow us over to Rumble. I can already tell.
I can't wait till Sunday.
Even though she would quite enjoy our discussions over there, I really do.
The monkey's coming over Sunday night, so I'm anticipation is
yeah. When we get to Rumble, I'll tell you how frustrated I am this Christmas. So we'll see you in like a minute, okay?
I'm gonna go fill my cup.